Welcome to the World Knife Throwing League. Created by the same team that brought the World Axe Throwing League and Urban Axe Throwing to the masses, the World Knife Throwing League looks to take the sport of knife throwing from the backyards across the world to the living rooms of millions at home. The World Axe Throwing League was able to leverage their 350-plus affiliate locations, allowing them to build out the infrastructure for a new urban knife throwing sports league. And after years of planning many iterations of rules, knives, and targets, the WKTL has arrived in 2021 and made its debut at the U.S. Open. The World Knife Throwing League borrows many of the rules from the World Axe Throwing League, with a few notable exceptions. And if you're familiar with the sport of axe throwing, you will know that throwers collect their axes after every throw and return to the fault line. But in the WKTL, throwers alternate between 3 throws and 2 throws at each distance before retrieving the knives. This adds an extra layer of difficulty to the sport to avoid knocking existing knives out of the target. Knives are only scored immediately before retrieval, so if a knife falls to the ground as the result of another throw, it will be scored as a 0. The World Knife Throwing League has introduced a new target design that has 3 bullseyes. The WKTL targets look very similar to those of the WATL, with the addition of 2 bullseyes located above and below the center bullseye. These play into the strategy of the game, but also make it possible to score 3 bullseyes in a single set of throws. The order of throws look like this: 3 single rotation throws from the 10-foot line, then the knives are retrieved. 2 single rotation throws from the 10-foot line, and after 5 throws of single rotation at the 10-foot line, competitors switch sides. You then have 3 double rotation throws from beyond the minimum of 15 feet with that line, then the knives are retrieved, and then 2 more double rotation throws from beyond the minimum 15-foot line. You can learn more at worldknifethrowingleague.com.
Obviously a passion project for you, Evan Walters, as we get ready to crown our first ever World Knife Throwing Champion. And we learned a little bit in that video about it. The points are going to look the same, Evan, but a different looking board to really make this a spicy competition.
Absolutely. We have a particular amount of grouping and whatnot. We're throwing multiple knives at the boards before we're going to retrieve. That's why we have those 3 bullseyes right in the middle, but we still have those 8 points, those 6 points, and those kill shots you can call.
But also keep in mind, the scoring circles, the big scoring circles around the top and the bottom bullseye are still those original point values. So we're seeing a lot of guys that will still throw all 3 knives at the middle, because if you miss, you're getting 5 or 4 points, as opposed to potentially 5 or 2 points if you miss high or low to the middle bullseye, correct?
That is absolutely correct. But we also have a lot of folks who don't want to vary their throws high or low too much. They want to stay consistent, so they're actually practicing more of the grouping into the individual center. And we'll see as the sport progresses how that's going to develop.
All right, so our first 3 throws from the first 10-foot line. Mike Philabaum against Shane Shepard to determine the first World Knife Throwing Champion. Again, 2 axe specialists.
Throw number 2.
Taken their hatchet skills and developed into knife throwing for this competition.
You can see
throw number 3.
Mentioning that grouping, Philabaum moving kind of slightly left and right of each knife. That way he can hopefully get in that bullseye just like he did.
He did. He needed it after missing his second throw up to where I believe it was only going to be 4.
6, 5, 4.
6, 4, 4.
So a 1-point edge after 3 throws for Shane Shepard. Get your calculators out at home. We got a lot of quick math to do in knife throwing.
Score is 15 to 14.
That's why we have our head judge and assisting
4.
judge. And again, same rule applies where they have to split the paint, so they have to get color on both sides of that knife in the scoring area for it to count.
Knives down.
Also, one thing that they also must do is they must have the tip of the blade in the wood.
5, 5.
5, 5.
All right, so matching throws, and now we'll step back to the 2 rotations from all the way back. Mike Philabaum, again, so much attention was going to be on his pursuit of the Hatchet World Championship, but made it into this knife throwing final by beating really the favorite in the sport. The reigning U.S. Open champion and Travis Blank beat him in his path to reach this final. That was I wouldn't say necessarily a stunner, but certainly one of the first real stories of this week.
Throw 7.
We have our first drop, which, again, can be pretty devastating, but they do have the option
8.
for those kill shots still. We haven't seen a whole lot of kill shots yet in this knife throwing competition. They are very risky, but I think at this point, Philabaum's going to have to go for it.
5, 3, drop.
6, 4, 4.
So a massive lead going into the final 2 throws for Shane Shepard. He mentioned Mike Philabaum did not attempt a single kill shot in the road to this championship.
There are 2 throws
And
left.
this competition is just
Shep
getting
leads
fired up. We
39,
have
32.
a lot of folks who are just trying knife throwing out for this year. We really expect that next year to be the year of the knife.
Shepard just trying to make sure
This
he
is
gets
throw
it
number
on
10.
the board.
Now you can see they're throwing from a slightly larger distance, which also makes more rotations and harder to stick.
And an opening there, but I don't think the math's going to work out on that last throw. A bullseye would have made it really tight.
5, 4.
4, drop.
So he needed to make up 7 and only made up the 5, did Philabaum on that throw. So Shane Shepard takes this first
43
game
and 41.
by 2
Shep
points.
takes game 1. We have 1 practice throw.
So again, so much of the volatility, the variance, again, the drops becoming a big part of that strategy. Let's look at 1 practice throw here. Shepard up 1 game to none in this best 2 out of 3. Shepard looking down at his feet. He actually started with just a score of 18 in his first game out in the bracket and made a foot adjustment. Looked down, took 1 actual full foot step to the line. That was what he needed for the rotation, and it's been all success ever since in getting into this final.
Again, as Leverance mentioned earlier,
Throw 2.
it's actually a benefit to have this type of patterned floor. That way they can see exactly where their feet go and can readjust and
This
realign.
is throw 3.
Same thing applies for knife throwing. Very good grouping of the knives on both their throwers' parts.
6, 6, 4.
5, 4, 4.
So a good start for Mike Philabaum, needing to win back-to-back games to be the first ever World Knife Throwing League champion. And again, a negligible difference in terms of prize money. $1,500 the
16
winner,
to
$1,000 the
13.
second, but both of these
3
gentlemen
points separating us.
battling to
Throw
be the
4.
first. And that is something that years from now, no one will be able to take away.
Throw 5.
2 really good throws on the 4th.
Wonder if
Knives
Shepard's going to
down.
be.
That's maybe 2 bullseyes from Philabaum.
That might be.
6, 6.
There we have it.
5, 4.
So a nice edge for Philabaum, making the transition to the back line to have a 6-point cushion going to
Switch
these
sides, step
difficult,
back.
longer throws.
Just need to
28,
find his
22.
center, I think,
Philabaum leads
because
by
Philabaum's picking up
6.
very quickly. And if Philabaum takes this, he'll be the first multi-discipline world champion
Throw 7.
if he also takes hatchet.
Throw 8.
Ooh, pretty close.
Six, 4, drop.
5, 4, 4.
So a commanding edge with the drop from Shepard going into the final 2 throws.
2 shots left, 41 to 32. Philabaum leads.
Only 2 more knives left each.
And throw 10. Knives down.
Shepard took a look at the scoreboard to see if it was worth it for him
4,
to try and make a run to
4.
the top, but
4, 5.
Really knew that he needed Philabaum to just miss. He needed a drop to get any help to get back into that one. And so we are all tied up at a game apiece.
We're going to game
One
3.
for all
1
of
practice
the
throw.
marbles
between Shepard and Philabaum in a World Knife Throwing Championship.
You often see a lot of folks practicing from the second distance. Again, for those who are just tuning in, the second set of throws has to be done from the second distance, which is a bit farther away, which means you get multiple rotations. It's a lot harder to hit.
This is throw 2. Throw 3.
Philabaum going into the far right to see if he can get that grouping in there. They're almost seems like they're afraid of the top and bottom bullseyes.
5, 4, 4.
6, 5, 4.
There's a slight lead for Philabaum after those first 3 tosses. And look, don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
15
We're
to
competing for a world
13.
championship
Philabaum
here,
leads
but
by 2.
it's a different discipline.
Throw number 4.
But Philabaum gets to get back out here before the hatchet final and just kind of work any energy out of the body too right now, and he's found a nice rhythm with the knives.
Throw 5.
Yeah, he's doing really well, clearly, but I'm hoping for his sake that it's not going to influence the hatchet throwing, because that's coming up next, and switching disciplines is already hard enough.
5, 5.
6, 5.
So a 3-point edge for Mike Philabaum. 5 throws to go as they go to the back line.
Switch sides and step back. 26-23.
Shane Shepard, who
Philabaum leads by 3 points.
got into the community just a few years ago. Also been a successful beer pong competitor.
Throw 7.
He's gone to the World Series of beer pong out in Las Vegas. He's got the temperament and the skill. Oh, what a drop there.
Throw 8.
Matched by a bullseye from Philabaum. Wow.
At the very least, that might have been. Oh, well, actually, there we go.
Knowing your opponent had a drop there, Philabaum
6,
trying
5,
to wedge it
drop.
in there instead of just
6,
taking points on the board
5,
somewhere is
drop.
extremely suspect.
Honestly, I think in the next year or so, we're going to see a lot more people going for those top and bottom bullseyes because of
There
this
are
exact
2 throws
situation
left.
right here.
Philabaum leads by 3.
It makes sense in other throws, Evan, to avoid the potential of a 2 missing outside the circle. But in that case, with the lead and with your opponent already with the drop,
Throw 10.
Shepard's got to go up here, doesn't he? Yeah.
Shep's gone 2.
They're both.
And Philabaum says, I'll go with you. There's some sportsmanship there. He doesn't have to.
It won't matter.
Maybe not the championship he expected when he arrived in Texas, but he'll take it going into the biggest one of the afternoon. Mike Philabaum will etch his name as the first ever World Knife Throwing League champion. He takes out Shane Shepard to take home the hardware. And you know what? Maybe the best, but you're definitely the first as he takes that knife out of the stone. And he will send it, and the sport has its first champion. They're not going to like that. He's got to focus on the next one coming up, but Mike Philabaum's quest to be a world champion has at least one right now as he captures that one. $1,500 for the effort, and he's standing by now with Morgan Uber. Morgan?
Mike, after losing the first game, you come back and win 2 straight. How did you find your rhythm?
Just kind of took my time, controlled my breathing, just, again, respecting every shot, and, yeah.
Earlier this morning, you wouldn't touch this trophy here behind us. You thought it would bring you some bad luck, but now it's yours. You're the first ever World Knife Throwing champion. When I say that, what goes through your mind?
I still don't believe it. Honestly, I didn't really do knives too much. But yeah, I'm more than thrilled. I'm so excited. It's awesome. So
Mike, thank you so much. Congratulations and good luck going forward. We'll be back with more action after this.
The 2021 World Knife Throwing Championship is brought to you by the World Knife Throwing League. Pick up your own set of WKTL approved throwing knives at worldknifethrowingleague.com.